So you've worked for 40-45 minutes and you would like a movement break. Your body wants it anyway. So there are a few things you can do. We'll do this one sitting. So you can stand up and do the same moves, it's fine. So if you take your arms out to the side until they're straight, with your hands making a stop sign. Can't see my other one. Yeah, they're both doing the same thing. You want to spread your fingers out. The middle finger is pointing up. Your thumbs are pointing forward in front of you. And your fingers are coming towards you. So rather than push the hand away, see if you can feel the shoulder, the whole shoulder coming away from your body on both sides. You can do one side at a time. So feel the movement coming, the traction coming from the shoulder. Okay, that's called the nerve stretch. And make sure your thumbs are straight and pointing forward, middle finger pointing upwards. And breathe. And notice if your chest has come up, relax it until your sternum points straight forward, if you can. You don't force it there, but if you can relax there, that's fine. So you think of your elbow pit now. You want your elbow pit, the crease in the inner elbow, to be pointing up rather than forward or down. You want the inner elbow pit to be pointing upward. So you might need to twist your arm behind you a little bit, adjust your hands and play with it without forcing. Your body, everybody will be different. So you're aiming that way, and as you twist, you might find your hand wants to go with it. So see if you can then make the hand come back up. So your middle finger pointing up, thumb pointing forward still. And then you can play with it, rolling your shoulders back and a little bit forward. So your inner elbow pit will go pointing forward and pointing up. And pointing up is where you want it, because it's kind of the opposite of what we do working at a desk. We tend to have a bit of this, a bit of rotation in, and we want a rotation out, because that's the movement that's lacking in our 8-hour day. Okay, so that's for the arm. Another nice one is to reach the arm up and see if you can feel your whole length here. The whole latissimus dorsi, you might feel it lengthening. And the other side, take your arm up. You can bend to the side, reach. Okay, that's another one. For the hands and connected to the shoulders, you can do a reverse prayer hand. So rather than do a prayer with your hands together, you want the backs of your hands touching to the best of your ability, and see if your thumbs can touch, keeping the thumb straight rather than bent, rather than curled like this. So, and you can also link the fingers if it's easier, if it's more comfortable. And as you bring your hands down, you should feel a stretch here, and maybe in the forearm. And you can start sliding one way or the other. Okay, so that's one move you can do. You can also do the finger stretches one at a time, or all of them together. And as you do all of them together, can you stretch out your thumb and your little finger away? You can do it this way, and you can do it that way, like a stop sign, fingers pointing up. They can be either pointing up or pointing down, and try and reach the thumb and little finger away from each other. Okay, other hand, so you can start, now that's done, you can do that one. You can do the other hand. You can do, that's where we started, wasn't it? Palm facing forward, thumb and finger, little finger spreading, and then that way fingers up, and thumb and little finger spreading. And you can do it as I was trying to show you, is you've got your hands facing forwards, fingers pointing down, and then you had a bit of pressure here with your other hand as you spread the thumb and finger away. And that side, that's to counteract all the typing that we do with our hands always in the same position. So we want to visit the other ranges of motion all the way down and all the way up, because we kind of stay here in the middle. So with the fingers curled, so fingers spread out, take your wrists one way and the other, fingers pointing up, fingers pointing down, and of course you can do little circles as well. Okay, and you might have noticed my elbows are in, so if yours tend to go out, see if you can bring them in a little bit. That changes what's happening around the shoulder, bringing more movement. Okay, so we've done hands, we've done a bit of waist. You can also do a calf stretch, so you can do it sitting, you can do it standing. Standing is better if you've sat for a long time, and if you've stood for a long time, or not necessarily for a long time, but for long enough, like half an hour, you might want to change. So you put the ball of your foot on top of the towel, and your heel is down. So that's giving you a little bit of lengthening in the Achilles tendon region. So if you tend to wear heels, I mean, it might be enough to be flat, but you can also visit that range of motion. So you're not always using your ankle in this position, but you can have a variety of position. And every time you change the angle, the muscles, it makes it move differently. So it's a good thing. And you can also go out to the side with your foot, pointing one way and pointing the other. Explore what there is, and there might be an area that needs it more than others. So it's worth trying different positions, not sticking with just one. So if you take your chin near your throat and you let gravity work for you, you feel your head come forward, but your shoulders stay back. So it's just chin to chest, and that will lengthen the muscles at the back of your neck. Especially if you tend to do this, you should feel it when you do that. So relax your arms by your side, feel them nice and heavy under the effect of gravity. And every time you exhale, pause and feel the effect of gravity a little bit more. You can also move side to side gently. Chin going right, chin going left. Maybe little circles with your nose. very tiny. And as you come up, keep your chin near your throat, so you still feel that lengthening effects in the back of your neck. So you're not going from here to here and compressing the vertebrae and shortening the muscles at the back. You want to keep your chin down, and also your sternum down if you can, to feel that real lengthening effect. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but what you're aiming for is sternum pointing forward, chin to throat, and then a nice lengthening effect from the back. So that's a neck one. Of course, with the neck you can also look to one side, look to the left, look to the right. If you work at the computer a lot, you might always be looking in one direction, so your neck muscles get stuck there and never really need to be used in different ways. So if you can look to the other end of the room, or to a window far away, one side and the other. You can also look up, because that's something we rarely do. Our screen tends to be either level with our eyes or down, so it's nice to look up. It's nice for the eyes, it's nice for the neck, but watch that your chin's not coming forward, that you can look up but keeping your chin gently back. So any direction is fine. And also there's your ear to your shoulder, so you can look up, ear to shoulder, and relax here for a minute, feeling your weight without pulling. It's just feeling how heavy your limbs are, your arm, how heavy your right arm is and your left arm. In fact, you can let them dangle, and then gently center, and then to the other side, keeping the chin, checking that the chin is not shifted forward, or that the shoulders haven't shifted forward. Find a position or several positions that feel that they're moving something without really making you sore, or just, even if the movement is small, that's fine. The more you do, the easier it will get. It's only if you stick to just one position that things seize up and then the fascia molds itself around that shape that you've created, and this is why it feels like a stretch when you start moving, changing positions. So it's nice to just add a little bit of movement to avoid that massive change. And it's not just a muscular thing, but blood flows, lymph flows as muscles contract. So any time you change something, things keep moving. Blood still comes to your brain. It gets travels back to your heart from your legs every time you have a little change of position. So make the most of it. Just be creative and find your own way of moving. I'm just showing you some examples of things you might want to explore. There's no end to it. It's an infinite number of possibilities. The main thing is to look at the shape. You can have a mirror next to you and look at the shape that you're creating. Is it the shape that you want, or do you want a different shape? So it's another consideration. Because we don't see ourselves, it's nice sometimes to have a quick glance in the mirror and see, oh yeah, I've slouched. Oh yeah, I thought I was straight. But and if you're slouching, it could also be the way of your body to tell you that you need to change position. It's not necessarily negative. It's your body's talking to you. It's saying, oh, I've had enough of this position. Time for a break, which time to change. Either a proper break or just a tiny adjustment. So yeah, you've got lots of options. So start small, start with one little change, and then add another, and enjoy the process. It should be enjoyable and fun. So make it so.